shoot, then that's just pretty much a big fat lie, because any ship that's power is past 1 million cannot effectively fly and shoot at the same time. You can't cloak past 1 million. If your ship cloaks at 1 million power region, you can't make it any bigger. If you make it even a little bigger, even if you try to add more power, not gonna work. Because there's no way you're gonna be able to get enough power to cloak. So that's the only problem. I've seen a lot of super capital ships in my day. Now I sound like my old dad. Okay. But they can fly around fine. Sometimes, and what's the really big problem is that most of the time they can't even fly around without all their power just draining away into nothingness. So, there's two ways to combat this power cap, okay? The first way, and probably what most people do, is they just add, I'm gonna go spam cubes of power. That'll do it, right? Well, I guess you could do that, but it's not really gonna work, is it? Because cubes of power, still, your math's not gonna work. So what I've done, and I've opted for, is I've put a whole lot of power storage on this thing. And once I enter the core here, which I really have been needing to do, so once I enter this core, I'll show you that I have tons of power. Tons of power. Not tons of power regen, just tons of power. And that allows me to fly and shoot for longer. And shoot for longer, because my guns now take up a lot of energy. Alright, so here you go. Let's look at this. Let's look at the stats. Did I just say shats? Let's look at the stats, shouldn't she? Okay, so I have 4.5 million shields. That's a lot right there. That's a lot for only one section of the ship. Half of the ship covered in shields. I would consider that to be, a decent amount, a lot, maybe, perhaps. Yeah, okay. My power is 1.7 million. So that's pretty much all I'm gonna do, cause anything more than that is freaking ridiculous. Now my total power storage, let's see, is, okay, 15 million. 15 million. So that's a lot more than my power region. You're like, well, why would you want to do that? And the answer is, because that actually makes your power, a lot more effective. Because your EPS is only, if your EPS is 1 million, and you have a total of 20,000 power at any one time, then you're really only going to be using 20,000 power at a time. So what that will mean is if you're firing giant guns that take tons of power, you're not going to be able to fire them because it's going to take a minimal amount to fire one little antimatter cannon one time. And if you don't have that power immediately on hand already before you fire it, it's not going to fire. Same thing for pulsars, for pulses, and for anything else in StarMade. This is also true for engines as well. Because if you start out with not a lot of power, and then you put engines on, and you go fast, it's going to be draining your power, and you're going to have that constant regen trying to fight back the drain on the engines. But right now, if I fly this, it's pretty smooth. I like to think it's smooth. And oh my god, I realize I still haven't showed you the exterior. It's been what? This is the third part? I hope this is only going to be a 3-part. Alright. Okay, look at that in awe. That is the base star. That right there, if you notice, it isn't like a real base star, okay? Because I know they only have 3 spars, but I put 4 because I can. And it's kind of awkward to build 3. So, I already told you what I'm gonna do about that, so you already know. The thing is, when I was building this, and I made these, like, exits here, like, right there, you can't tell that there's a whole bunch of plex doors. which is good. But that right there, those blue things, those are the reactors. Well, some reactors that I shown. And I'm like, you know what? Let's think logically here. Why would they be showing their reactors? They wouldn't want them. I mean, they're going to be there. They're going to be poking out of the ship, but they're not going to just leave them open to space. No, that would be stupid. So, what I did on the turret was I covered them up with plex doors. Alright, now let's do a weapons test. Alright, okay. Which way is which? That is the only problem. I don't know which way is forward and which way is backward. Well, I guess I'll know soon. Okay, this way is forward. I think they and all the weapons focus in right about here. So let's fire them. The first type of weapons. It's gonna fire for me. Alright, there we go. And as you can see, there was definitely a power nerf. There was a nerf on all antimatter cannons. They take one hell of a lot of power. Cause look at that, 15 million power drained almost instantaneously. Just gone, devastated. Let's see about this other cannon. What this other cannon's facing the opposite direction. Oh, I almost forgot that. Yeah, so I have cannons facing in opposite direction, so no matter what direction they come at me, I'll fight them off. And finally are the missiles. Dun. There's actually 4, just only 2 have decided to load. Oh god, if they hit something. Oh dear. Yeah, there's been a lot of nerfing in StarMade, really. Just a bunch of nerf. Alright, that just sums it up for this episode, looks like. I'll hop out of my car and head over to the spawn if I have time. If I don't, then bye-bye. I hope I do have time. I have time. Nope, don't have time. Nobody got time for this. Well, some people could, I guess. But no, not the lag, not the lag. Anything but the lag. Ugh, great. Come on, core. Core don't fit. What do you mean target isn't compatible? Screw that. Target is compatible. Oh dear. Let me move. Okay, great. Da-da, 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 da-da. Yeah, with these extremely long corridors, I'm probably gonna make like a tram system for them. Da-da, 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 da-da. Oh, I'll hit a wall. See, it's never good when you hit walls, children. No, I sound like a creepy person. Come on! How quickly can you exit a base star? Yeah, this thing is not good for emergencies, apparently. It'll just kind of run you over. And you're pretty much trapped in here if there's an emergency. By the time you can get out, you're pretty much dead. I was kind of sad that they nerfed shields. I thought they were going to just like nerf. They weren't going to nerf the shields. I always thought that antimatter cannons personally were a little OP'd. Just a little bit. And they certainly solved that problem. Come to a stop. Come to a complete and utter stop. What is that thing? What is that? What the? Okay, that is one of my ships right there. And I was gonna show it to you today. But has a mind of its own, apparently. Yeah, it has a mind of its own. Oh, well. Okay, so here you can see these are the reactors here, but you can't really tell. They're kind of discreet. Well, if I open up these plex beacons, why do I keep saying plex beacons? I don't know. Oh, because I've been needing plex beacons. Oh, well. So, this is the reactor right here. And you close the plex doors, so that just keeps everything a little bit covered. Now, you get back here. Hey, boy! Come back here! No? Fine.